Hi guys, so in this video going to be looking at the reading from a table questions because they're quite long but straightforward once you kind of know the ways or like just process for it. I've only got 2 examples in this video. So looking at our first question here, so we are told there are 2 types of seats on an airplane, coach and business. And what I might actually do, I'll zoom in and then I'll scroll down just so if anyone's on a mobile can see a little better. Fares for one adult from Edinburgh to Berlin are shown in the table below, and we've got these 2 different sections. So the main thing is that we've got this sort of coach section, which is then divided up into 2, and then you have this business section as well. Children up to the age of 12 pays 70% of the adult fare. And the moment I read that question, before I even get to the rest, I think that's probably a bit of an important piece of information, so I'm just going to highlight that so I don't lose it. Traveller insurance is also available as shown in the table below, and children up to the age of 12 pay 80%. So I'm also going to highlight that so we don't lose it. And then a £5.50 fee will be added to all credit card transactions. And then we are told Mr. and Mrs. Pleasant and their child aged 4 want to fly from Edinburgh to Berlin. So the way I do this, I like to just look at one bullet point at a time. So to start off with, we're going to look at this first bullet point. So an afternoon coach flight. So tickets. And I want to find where the afternoon coach flight is. So, firstly, it's coach, and then it's afternoon. So I'm using this value here. And just slowly highlighting and picking out that bit of information is going to help you stop making some silly mistakes. And in the next example, I'll talk through a really common silly mistake that happens with these sorts of questions. So, firstly, just jotting down the cost of one adult. Not one adult, it's one adult. And that's at £62. So then 2 adults. All I'm going to do is take that 62, times it by 2, which is going to be 124. And then 1 child, as we highlighted earlier, they only pay 70%, aged 4, that is under the 12 range, so I only want to do 70%, and whatever way you calculate 70% is one of those things where we all have our own method. One of the more straightforward ones I always think of is just dividing by 100 and then timesing by whatever the percentage is. And so that will be £43.40. Got a bit tight there. And so our total for the tickets are going to be those 2 numbers added together. So the total amount is £167.40. So that's our tickets. We have done that first bullet point. Then I want to look at this next bullet point. So they also buy travel insurance. So insurance. There is only one option. So I'm working with that £15 there. So again, and I'm actually just going to move this down a little just so it's a bit more separated off from the tickets. So 1 adult, we are told, is £15. We have 2 adults. So it's going to be 15 times 2, which is going to be 30. And then 1 child, as we highlighted earlier, so we didn't forget, up to the age of 12 pays 80%. So I'm just wanting to find 80% of the cost of 1. Which is going to be £12. And then our total, adding those 2 together, so adding the £30 and the £12 gives you £42. And one thing that I will just highlight to be careful about, I have seen in the past for the total tickets, people adding up their cost of one adult, their cost of two adults, their cost of the 70%, and any other calculation they've done. Make sure it's only the final part of the adults, the final part of the child cost, okay? Alright, so we've done that bullet point now. So next thing, we are told they pay by credit card. So reading through here, this fee is added to all credit card transactions. So that means we just need to remember the cost of that credit card transaction. And that's all we have to do with it. And then we're told they have budgeted £220 for travel costs. Have they budgeted enough? So all we need to do is just take our final answers from each section and add them together. So our main total is at £167.40 plus 42 plus £5.50, and that's going to give us an answer of £214.90. And then, like our compound interest from before, because we are being asked have they budgeted enough, we do need to elaborate a little bit more. So we would say yes, since £214.90 is less than that £220 they saved. And that's it. Okay, so next one then. So same idea as before. We're just going to read through quickly. We'll just highlight some of the important bits that can get easily lost, and then we'll work through those bullet points. So there are 3 types of tickets on the Eurostar: standard, standard premier, and business. Now, this is the bit where people make mistakes. Because we've got this standard and the standard premier, they are 2 completely different things. I frequently see people reading from the incorrect column, mixing them up. Make sure you're reading the full thing. Is it just standard or is it the full standard premier? We are then told children up to the age of 10 pay 60%, so don't want to forget about that. Travel insurance is also available as shown in the table below, and children up to the age of 10 pay 40%. A £6.20 fee will be added to all credit card transactions. Mr. and Mrs. Dreamer and their children aged 8 and 9 want to train from London to Paris. So, zooming out, let's have a go at this. So, again, working from that first bullet point. So, tickets. And we are dealing with a non-flexi standard premier. So first, I make sure I go to the standard premier, and it is going to be non-flexi. So that's the number I'm working with. So one adult is going to be that £125.40. So 2 adults, just want to take the answer, times it by 2, which will be £150.80. Sorry, I just was turning my thing over just so, because I did prior calculations, but I don't want to make any mistakes. Ooh, a bit tight there. So £250.80. Then one child, we are told that they pay 60%, as we highlighted in yellow earlier. So I'm going to take that normal cost of the ticket and find 60%. And that would be £75.24. And so then 2 children is going to be £401.28. And you can shortcut it a bit. What am I doing? No, the £401.28, that's the total. 2 children are £150.48. So you can shortcut it a little bit by finding, once you found the cost of 2 adults, you could just find 60% of that amount for the cost of 2 children. I prefer finding the cost of 1 and then multiplying it, purely because then it means I'm getting in sort of a routine and I can deal with any number of children quite happily for these types of questions. And then my total now, adding those 2 bits together, so the £250.80 plus the £150.48, that total amount is now that £401.28. So now insurance, because that's our next bullet point. So 1 adult is £12 times 2, so that's going to be 24. Oh, 1 hour is just £12. So 2 adults, and then multiply that by 2. Oh, I'm all over the place in this question. So that's the cost of 2 adults. Then 1 child, as we highlighted earlier in yellow, they only pay 40% of the total cost. So 1 child, I'm going to take that 12, divided by 100, times by 40, and so that is just going to be £4.80. And so 2 children, taking that £4.80, times it by 2, which will give you £9.60. So I'll total then, adding those 2 bits together, to give us a total of £33.60 for insurance. So I've done that bullet point. Next one, they tell us that they pay by credit card. So we make a note of that credit card fee. And then we're told how much they have budgeted. So all we need to do now is add up our final answer from these 3 sections. Give us an answer of 441.08. So they budgeted 445. Have they budgeted enough? Yes, they have budgeted enough since 441.08 is less than, getting tight, 445. Just about fit that in. Okay, so that is all you need to do for these questions. The big issue with them is that people, actually took that highlighted part up. People can just get lost in the mix. I see a lot of people redoing calculations they've already done, but just make a clear title for yourself. And if you have highlighters, highlight every time you reach your total, just so you don't lose track of it. If there's any issues, let me know. And yeah, good luck with these.